it is now, what is it?
If the chair could give me
7:12?
2 seconds to get to my note
Sure.
thing, I will. See ya. I'm ready.
All right, call the meeting to order. First order of business is the minutes from previous meeting. Did everybody have a chance to kind of look at them? Any corrections, revisions, changes be made, said?
No, that's it.
Okay. I move that they be accepted as written. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Motion carries. All right, next thing up, of course, we got through with the Harmony House, so we're not doing much with the Harmony House for a little bit.
I was gonna, this is not to cut in too much, but I just wanted to ask you, do you think you might be able to follow up with them about their putting it on the building?
Yes,
Just
I
to make
talked
sure.
to,
Okay.
yeah, I will do that, yeah. Because I talked to Brian about that, and he was on the same level. We're gonna have to drill 4 little holes in that plaque
Okay.
to mount it on the front there. I thought there was a place right next to the entrance on the left side that you could mount it.
Yeah.
A little flat.
Did you mention that?
No, I didn't, I should have.
Okay.
So,
They were talking about too, they were gonna use bolts that long.
why?
Wow.
Carriage bolts nutted on the inside,
Uh,
so it stays.
So nobody
So it
could
stays?
take it off or?
Well, you never know, but yeah, I guess better safe than sorry, so as long as it doesn't cause a big thing. But well, I'll be happy to follow up and talk to them about that.
I
Make
think
sure.
it'd be nice if it was on the outside, so you.
Oh, definitely,
It's gotta be
it's
on
gotta
the
be on the
It's
outside.
gotta be on the
No,
outside.
but-
You wanna be able to read it from the street, too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But they wanted bolts long enough so that they go all the way through, so they cannot be removed.
So, well, we can.
Oh, that makes sense. The idea being that if the bolts are really long, it's harder to get off the building.
Well, if they're long and they're a carriage bolt type, so there is no nut on the outside, just a smooth
Exactly.
head.
Exactly.
Or get some of those, ones that only got half the slot, so that as you.
There you go.
They tighten them.
That's it, yeah.
Yeah, vandal proof, what they're called.
Yeah,
Yeah.
supposedly.
There's no such thing.
All right, well, I'll be happy to do that. Let's talk a minute about the side of the month. Of course, we did that this last, 2 weeks ago? And we finally got the article, thanks to Susan. Thank you very much for doing that. Because Carol Clem was,
Yeah, how is she doing?
Yeah, anybody know about Carol
She
Clem?
is home, that is all I know. She finally got home, I think Saturday. Saturday, I talked to her Wednesday or Thursday, and I haven't gotten over there.
Is she truly giving up stuff at the end of the month?
She is.
Oh, she's
Well,
no longer being
well-
reported? I didn't know that, okay.
Are you sure of that?
She told me she sent her a letter, and I don't know if she could have retracted it, I suppose.
Oh, resignation, okay.
As of when?
End of the month,
No, when did you talk to her?
maybe a week and a half ago. Could have changed.
It could have changed.
Okay.
I don't know, because it's gonna depend on,
Is somebody be taking over the village section?
well, yeah, sure, Lily or Hannah or whoever. I know.
Hannah's still working? Or Anna is still
Hannah's,
working?
yeah, they're co-editors, I guess.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Is that the other girl that we met? She was been with the,
Did you meet her tonight?
no, I didn't see her. The younger girl that was with the Harold. Is it
They're
Harold?
both younger.
Yeah. Oh.
Anna?
No, there was
She
another.
was here, she's been here, and then
Yeah.
the new one, Kelly was there tonight taking photographs in the back.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry. Okay. In regards to site of the month, I think I'll table that for this time, and then next time we'll have somebody to recommend, and hopefully we can do another site of the month.
Well, what about Singelberger House?
Well, that's, we need to talk to them. I haven't
Because
approached
they're
them.
almost, they did the only
That's
thing
who I
they
wanna
really
go
need to
next
do is
time.
paint the steps, to be like.
Yeah, it seems like we could do a picture, and cut the steps out, and, you know.
Yeah, I can Photoshop.
Yeah, but before we do anything, I gotta get the permission, right?
Right,
Yeah, so,
exactly.
and I haven't approached him yet, so Lynn hasn't either, so we'll do that between now and next meeting, and hopefully we'll have them on as next House of the Month. Next thing up, historic colors. I did talk with Chris Karwicki, who is the head of the planning board. I am on the agenda for September to go before them and get these colors, to get that thing moving. So we're gonna,
Okay, so we got the whole write-up done, we're good?
we're good. Can you attend?
Yeah, yeah.
We'll be handing out the color palettes that you put together, and then some verbiage about what we want to introduce into the zoning ordinance. And basically get their blessing and support. And then we would, once we got them, either they would or we would go to you guys, the trustees, and ask.
Well, we
for
have to
amendment.
have the trustees, we have to talk to the bid organizations,
Why do we need to talk to them?
because you've got to disseminate this information. Because if somebody buys a building, they have no idea, they have no idea whatsoever.
Right, but the first thing is to get it on the books as not as a requirement, just as, all we're doing is saying, these are suggestive colors. We're not mandating anybody to do it. Well, first step up is let's get it on the books as suggestive colors. And because the bid doesn't have a voting interest in it.
No, they have not got a voting, they have an interest in all the businesses come into their organization.
Now, my understanding is
But they
you,
don't cover the whole village. That's been my bone of contention for a long time.
The bid,
The museum is not included in the bid group. Once you get just a few doors south of Main Street
it goes as.
and a few doors east of North and South Avenue, Lapham Park, anything in that area is not in the bid
So
district.
the museum, well, the Christian home, they're not either?
I didn't even realize they had a specific district.
Yeah,
do.
they do,
Oh,
but
okay.
I didn't think it was that.
It goes north, it goes all the way down to Kilburn.
Kilburgers.
Goes up,
And
yeah,
down there, and I'm not
includes-
sure how far it comes this way, but it
all the
stops
way to
rather
there.
quickly at Lapham Park going east.
Well, based on what the mayor was saying, we need to
No.
kind of pull that,
Well,
you know, over there, right?
you know, I mean,
Yeah.
they come to us for donations and stuff all the time, and I'll be honest, I'm
Well,
on tape now with it, but, so be it.
I'm gonna
have
call
a problem
Robin
with
and
that,
I'm gonna
you know.
find out, because that
You're
doesn't.
not represented, Tom, I
Right.
understand that. Yeah. I didn't realize that. I
I
thought
don't
they
know
were
why
just a,
they have a boundary that, what's the
I didn't
significance of
think
that?
the boundary was like that, I thought it went down as far as
Doesn't make any sense at
past
all.
Finn's.
It does go, you're right, it just doesn't go deep into Lapham because Lapham is residential.
Exactly,
Well, it
it
should,
is residential, but
Right.
wouldn't you pick up the Christian home and
The museum?
Yeah, I would think.
what
Not
about
museum.
Burke's? What about, I mean, anything that's just off the beaten path?
I don't have a map of the,
Scott's
I don't have a
funeral?
map of the boundaries, but I have the map, so I'll take a look and see how,
Well,
it
you got a lot
gets.
of residential down North Avenue too, and it goes all the way down to
Well,
Kilburn
yeah,
and
but there's more
Lee's.
businesses, there's more
Well, all right.
businesses, and I understand that,
Yeah,
but I
well,
still
it would
don't
only be
pick up.
including-
Guys, let it go, I'm down
Yeah, but
off
still,
my
so why wouldn't you?
soapbox.
Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
The good part about what you suggest is that I think it can be, I think you can do an amendment very easily, and in your case, you
Yeah,
don't pay taxes. So
right,
your presence in the bid would not affect the bid revenue one way or the
No.
other, or yours.
Well,
No.
okay.
So the thing is, it's hard, it's hard.
The point is we're not eligible to be in bid at this point.
at this,
Right, but maybe it'd be easy to get you in is my point.
Exactly.
Let's see what we can do.
hey, between you.
okay, well,
I'll follow.
however, that's out of our bailiwick in
Let me
terms of-
follow up on that because I'm involved with the bid too, so
Yeah.
it's easy for me to,
Was it put in?
But in regards to historic colors, we're moving, we're on the move. We got a game plan, so.
yeah. So Ed, are you thinking, going back to Judy's point, because she had a good one, are you thinking that maybe we could, the planning board meeting has gotta be the first Thursday in September,
Yeah,
whatever that is, anybody know what that is?
wait a minute.
Well, no, first I wanna get past the planning board.
Right, but they're gonna, are they gonna adopt it at that point?
Well, I would hope so. I'm not, they'll probably take it under advisement, look at it, and then the next time they will.
Okay, perfect.
Hi there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So why don't, so could we make, maybe we can make a plan, if you were to do the
Planning
presentation in
is on
front
the
of.
7th.
Okay, so if you do the planning on the 7th of September, and then you could go to the bid meeting that same month, and then just, you'd have it percolated that whole month, and then the planning board could approve it.
Yeah.
If they wanna have a little hearing or public comment, they could do that.
Okay, I'm not familiar with the bid, so they have a regular meeting?
Oh, yeah.
They do, they do.
Okay.
I'd have to get you
Well,
the date.
then I'd
for
have to get
September.
on their agenda, right?
That's easy, but let me see what we can do. Well, do we want to either Judy or I will follow up with you about the meeting date,
Okay.
okay?
Yep. Very good, okay, got that. Next thing up on our agenda was new commissioner, of course, we're short one, Paul Scheibel?
Yeah.
I talked to Paul.
Yeah.
He's stretched pretty thin.
Yeah,
It's
he
like, he couldn't attend this meeting, he can't attend the next meeting. I invited him all, and told him, we'd like to have him and we could show him, but
Yeah.
he's got so much on his plate, I'm not sure he's gonna be available. But, all you can do is ask, So I asked him, so,
Okay, you did talk to him.
yeah, oh, yeah,
Okay,
So-
because he,
it was, Saturday or Sunday, so.
do we have other suggestions or options and people we can approach?
nobody else has come up with him.
Yeah, I don't know who's interested in
I haven't run into anybody.
creating.
Yeah. We'll have to keep our ears open, that would be one of the things.
You can advertise it. That's how I got it.
Mm-hmm.
Do you could,
Where would you advertise that?
Either Penny Saver or
Webster.
maybe Webster.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Just a small, I
A little
picked it up
blurb.
on Peter advertised.
do you think you might be able to mention to Daryl, maybe he could write something in a column? Because that'd be a great, if he does it, because he said he's gonna do a column, which is a great idea. But if he does the column, could you just maybe have him say,
Yeah,
you're willing to
Yeah.
mention that? Because
Yeah.
people will read it, so.
Tom, I would ask you, if you know anybody, and if you know anybody wants to cross over or also participate in the village, Webster historic thing, if they wanna. they'd be-
Because it needs to be somebody from the village, so,
Yeah,
well, we've had village members in the
Yeah.
museum, so let me,
Send the word
Ask
out.
around.
Yeah.
I don't wanna take away from your membership, but.
no, I'm sure you won't.
right.
I mean, there's different meeting times and everything, and.
Right.
Yeah, we don't have an awful lot from the village, I will tell you that, but, yeah, there's a few.
Yeah.
We've kind of taken the summer off, we usually do, and we'll be having our first board meeting in September, so I'll bring it up then.
Good.
Very good. All right, next thing up, I had miscellaneous, we're still working on surveys. We talk about, Peter, you have agreed now to pick up the minutes for a couple of weeks, right?
I'm doing it right now. Yep.
Okay. And, then I have, letters yet to write, it's kind of moot now, they've already tore down one of them. I looked over there and that thing was down,
Yeah,
so, that's the one, what was that,
104.
104, yeah,
Looks good.
it got cleared out? Yeah.
It's too bad it's gone, but it wasn't authentic Greek revival.
It had been-
Kind of a makeover.
And that's, it's pretty bad.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
So. All right, well, we'll do a short meeting tonight, anything else that anybody wants to bring before the board?
Did we make, I don't know if you mentioned it last month, but did we talk about the letters to the residents? The reason I mentioned that is because the board kindly appointed me to the Parks Committee, being the only member right now, but anyways, and so they were talking about doing some kind of welcome wagon type thing, and we have a brochure, the Parks Committee has a brochure, the village has a brochure, so we have all the, kind of the elements in place to send new residents something. What would you think about, investigating the option of no, we're not gonna hit everyone, because we're gonna miss people, because the information is imperfect, but where we know, what would be the thinking of, would anybody have a problem with just sending out or dropping off, those 3 brochures to people?
That's what we used to do.
So it's exactly what we used to do.
Yeah.
Would you
Here's
include them in a
some
wel,
brochures
you
from
mean
museums.
include them in a welcome
Really?
wagon
All right,
packet?
Yeah, like a packet.
We used to do it as a welcome, but I
Well,
Don't know if that's
this would
exactly
come
what he
under,
means.
the parks.
He may mean more.
We'll do it for, well,
Households.
I'll do it for right now. But, I mean, we may have to have a group of people and responsible for it eventually, but if I were to start it, then at least I could figure out the pitfalls and I hand it over to somebody at some point. I can only do, there's only, I'm gonna run out of time,
I know you are,
but, you know,
because you've got a lot on your plate.
so if we do, let's see what we can do. We can do parks, we can do the village, I'm just gonna write these down here, just so I have them on my notes. Do parks, village, HPC, and then the museum.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, all those organizations have brochures.
And the bid.
Exactly.
And we can do the bid, although the bid I'm gonna have to talk to her, because I think the only
Yeah,
person
you
that
got
has the brochure is me right now.
Yeah.
Because everybody else,
Colors.
I have the historical brochure from the 1990s, I don't know if they ever made it. So I may have to take that one, update it, and then that may be what we
Yeah, I
use.
got some.
Peter, I think it's important to establish whose organization is gonna head this up.
Well, for now, why don't we let the Parks Committee do it, which is me, because that'll be the easy way to handle it, tag it, and then, fortunately, I have all the copies of the brochure, so it puts me in a good position to be able to do it.
Put all the-
What the bad place it puts me is, I don't know if I have time to do 100% of the distribution, so that may be where I'll need help. Like, if I were to copy all the brochures or get the museums to put them together, then I could hand them off to somebody to distribute, that would be,
We can do that.
that would be the
We can
best
help.
of all scenarios. So,
So where are
It
you
used to be a
thinking
pretty
about?
Regular thing.
they don't do anything like that anymore. What they do instead is they give people coupons,
Oh,
with no community, information in there at all.
Who
okay.
does this though?
They do it through some kind of coupon, service that you get.
Yeah, it does.
So it's not really like a welcome wagon thing in that sense, it doesn't really talk about the community in some very generic terms. It just says, you know, you welcome to Webster, here's some coupons, go to local businesses and buy stuff, so.
Yeah,
Peter, are you gonna print all these, or what, or?
I'll have to.
That'll be the park committee?
Yeah, well, some of them are already done,
Some are done,
Judy,
yeah.
Judy and the board,
Oh,
I
Yeah.
asked Judy, and we went in front of the board, and Carl, everybody supported getting the copies done for the parks and for the,
historic
So
preservation.
so those are all done already.
They're done.
so the only thing I need to add to it is the village ones, which the village probably has. I'll have to do I have to get some for the museum,
Museum, we have,
and
we
then,
have the cards back
okay,
in that room right behind the stairway. Where it goes
Really?
up to the
Oh,
attic.
okay.
yeah,
There's a
Okay.
great big box in there.
could I told you this was
There's
this
like a
Saturday?
1/3 sheet.
Yeah.
You've seen them,
Oh,
baby,
yeah,
sitting
yeah.
on the
Alright,
table.
well, I'm dosing this, Saturday, so I'll just grab some
Okay.
tonight. Alright,
Good.
perfect, thank you. And then I'll need to get one from the bid, or make one, so that may take some, that might be.
Well, yeah. let's see what's
So the
going
printing
on.
costs, so you've got covered.
Those are done, the other ones are done, the village will do their own, so I'll see if they have extras, and then I'll have to check on the bid and see what they've got, so.
well, if you need help folding them or
Okay, I might,
putting them out, then, you know.
I very well might, so, yeah. And-
All right.
So what's the purpose of having the bid have a brochure?
Just to make people aware that it's there
What they do, I assume.
and what they do, yeah.
I'm thinking down, the biggest thing might be,
It's a closed membership, you know, so
sure,
it's not like you have to have a business within the district to be a
But then
member.
they'll know what, the new people that are coming into town are going to know what businesses we
Right.
have in town.
well, if we could, you know what,
Well, I'm
I
not-
see your
I'm
point.
not so
Yeah.
sure the,
I know,
so the
it-
brochure is just gonna be a directory of the members of the bid?
It can't be, because I couldn't make anything that would be a huge
Right.
brochure. But what we could do is include the website,
Yeah.
we could include their Facebook page, we could also include the events that they do every year, like the movies, the wine walks, the trick or
Jazz.
treat trail, the
Jazz Festival.
Jazz Fest and the White Christmas. So maybe the idea, maybe because I think your point's good, but maybe the whole point is rather than being a bid brochure, what it is a bid event brochure.
Yeah,
It tells people, now that you're in the community, look what you can look forward to by being in the community.
just information.
Yeah. But you're right, advertising the bid as a board wouldn't work here because they can't be, right?
Being ignorant of the bid is funded from taxpayers, right?
No.
Only for the
No,
members,
just the
It's private?
businesses.
no, it's
No,
in the
not
district.
private.
In the district,
It's a separate assessment,
Yeah.
only if you have a business within the geographic boundaries
Of the
of the business improvement district.
Right,
Oh.
and when he says business,
So-
what he really means is you own property, because it's assessed on the property. So you could be, you could be a tenant, never, and you're just paying that through your rent, say.
It's gotta be a business
Hi, come on in, come on in.
property.
And like,
It's gotta be a business property, it can't be a residential. They don't tax the residential, I believe.
No, that's correct.
correct, I think it's.
There is
exempt.
residential within the bid, but they don't tax the
Right, I think
residential.
that's correct.
If it's solely residential.
I have to check on that, in fact, I would have to check on that, I have to still check on some of that, so.
Because there are some houses down in the north end that are within the bid, but they're solely residential.
Right.
And I
have
believe
to-
they exempted
I
those
have to
from
check
taxes
on
when
the-
they
I have to check on the
expended
logistics
the.
of that, because there's language in the bid bylaws that suggests that the, we're way off topic here, but that suggests that the residents who are within the bid actually do get a vote.
They get, but I don't believe they're taxed.
Well, that's what I, but
That's,
they shouldn't
okay,
get a
but
vote.
that's moot. But
Anyways, it's a, yeah.
the important thing is it's an event for the village, and if we're gonna do all these mail outs and handouts, that ought to be included in there, just so everybody's aware of it.
No, we're still just talking about the package to deliver to
Right, we
new
just gotta-
people
we just
that
gotta-
move into this.
That's
right.
How often does that happen? I mean, you're not gonna have.
It doesn't, yeah.
Hundreds of
yeah.
people moving.
No, we're not, yeah.
Well, I would guess that, I mean, I can only vouch for the fact that I can see new residences on the registrations. I will tell you though, that it probably, that's probably 5 to
You're not gonna get.
maybe 10 people a month. But that's only what I know through that, but if you look at transfers, like housing transfers, it's more.
Exactly,
No.
that's when you find.
So maybe you get 20 a month, which if we multiply that, you're talking
Oh, yeah,
250 a year, say?
Sure.
That gets to be substantial.
Yeah,
So,
but get the information out there.
All right, do we have anything else to come before the board?
well, but 7:32 is perfect.
Excellent. Then I move that we close our meeting. Do I have a second?
I'll make a motion, I'll second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Carried. You did vote over there.
That was way too easy.
All right, next thing up is our public hearing.
Well, why did you just close the meeting if you still got stuff
Well,
on your
you
agenda?
needed a separate meeting.
Yeah.
This was
Well,
our,
it's not really a separate
No.
meeting.
All right, I'll make a
It's really
motion.
part of the same.
You're right,
meeting.
I'll make a motion to rescind my motion, which I shouldn't have made in the first place.
Okay.
Exactly.
All right.
Aye.
okay,
All right.
yeah.
It's no different than the planning board might have other things on their agenda besides public
Oh, okay,
hearings.
excuse me, right,
Yeah.
okay, all right. Well, the next thing on the agenda then would be,
And you have 3 members are present,
that's right,
and there's 4 members total of
5.
5,
There are
one,
Well, there's supposed to be
well, we
five.
have 4 active, one is, we're missing one.
There's a vacancy.
vacant, so there's 4 active.
There's 4
There's
members.
4 appointed members
Right.
Yes,
Yes.
and 1 vacant.
So quorum must be
so we're
3.
fine with 3.
And it requires 3.
So if I could just, I wanted to pass these out, so
Yes.
take one, and then give Judy one, and I have a few extras, but not a lot, and you wanna give Don one? I cheated and I actually emailed Don and asked him, I said, well, what would we need, to be here? And here's an extra one, and whatever. And he said to me, go to the code and look at the code. So I looked at the code and so I, here, I can share that. I looked at, we'll share.
Yeah.
And so I went to the code and I tried to find out the 6 things that seem to be necessary for us to talk about the part of it, because Don said it takes, Don, correct me if I'm wrong here, but it says it, something about having to,
First of all, we're talking about section 175-48, is
yeah,
that
that's
correct?
yeah.
Yep.
You have to pull the public hearing prior to the approval of any historic district commissioners or parties may produce testimony or documentary evidence at the hearing, which will become part of the record. So then it talks about these criteria that have to be met. So 1 through 5, which is really, there's really a 6th. But,
Right, some of these don't apply, though, so.
okay, so I made up that sheet to show that we've actually, if you're okay with it, that we actually looked at the 6 characteristics. So, Don, does that look reasonable?
Mm-hmm.
He kind of suggested it, so.
Yes.
So everybody take a minute, read it, and I
So-
guess I would open this up for comments, anything regarding issues or?
Don, you may.
I'd like to say a couple of words that, when I joined the Historic Preservation Commission, which was in 2009 or seven. It was just a blip on the screen. And you know, I'm proud to say that as a member of the Historic Preservation Commission, that we, and chairman of the commission, that we pushed it through to get to this point. It's very important to me personally and to the village. And, you know, I'm very, very proud of this, and I hope that it becomes a designated landmark.
And I think it's very important that we're honoring the people buried there.
Yeah.
It seems like it was neglected for so long, and people didn't even know.
There's a guy that I know, that used to, he lived at 33 Fuller. He used to walk the Holy Trinity every day, but he's like, I think he's 95 now, he's still around. And he said there were several stones way in the back. And
Well,
we
one-
had the archaeologists come twice. And it was very interesting how they did that. They sifted through everything that they dug out of the ground, and we were a little worried that they'd start bringing bones up out of the ground, but that didn't happen. So we never did find the headstones. There's a possibility that some of the headstones are in that wall on the east side of the cemetery block,
Yes,
the driveway
They-
wall.
they found one in the corner that
Yeah.
was holding up the barn.
Actually, I actually brought the article. This is the article from the 2000, May 5th, 2006, where Fred found the stone.
Yep,
So if you want to, here, this is the, I brought a couple of things. This is the part for, that's the section in Rob, and the section in the Esther's book. And I didn't bring a copy, you have to look through them, then pass them on, but, so you got the section in Esther's book, and then I have 2 site plans there, and then I also have the article that was in the Herald.
very good, thank you.
Did you get one over?
No, but if you want to give
Is this
them,
based
I can
on
also email them.
village, or are you taking it to state and federal level?
No, only the village. I'm not sure that it would warrant or qualify as a state.
That was the
board.
reason I asked, because with sitting on the board at Webster Rural, we started at one point in time working towards getting the designation for just the chapel. And the gentleman that's now retired from the State Association of Government that asked on all this stuff, he said that really the thing would be to get the whole cemetery. But he said, you've gotta have some unique circumstances, and one of the things that he brought up was not just all obelisk and everything like that, you have to have some creative, if you will, headstones and so on and so forth. And I've read over on the sites a little bit that are available through the state on the cemeteries and so on and so forth. That's why I was just curious, because that is a heavy duty thing to
Yeah,
get through.
well,
Lots of research.
At this time, I don't think we're going to pursue that. However, I will mention that we have additional plans to do some minor improvements on the property, such as fencing and eventually additional walk, and maybe one time down the road, a bench or something on there, so to make it more of a, you gotta remember that this is a pioneer burial ground. It never actually had cemetery status. So, Peter and I talked about this as really more.
It's like more of a park in terms of its status, like
Yeah,
graveyard.
yeah, so, do we have any other comments
It's
or?
encouraging though, I mean, you could really do some, if you get some status and stuff like that, to do some more primitive graphics that people can walk up to and read about it, and so on and so forth, that it may even be outside, I think that'd be great.
Well, we have the sign here.
We do have a sign on it. Carl,
There's
Actually, two
signs
signs,
of
yeah.
people that are
Yeah, buried there.
what it is and who's there.
Yeah,
Plus a walk out to the sidewalk is complete.
Yeah,
And Jake is working on
All the
posts
land
or
is-
chain link.
all the land is identified now too.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
That's
Oh,
all
yeah.
settled.
And
Thanks
the-
to you and all
Yeah,
your-
and then
Oh, we
the,
had a lot of fun with that one.
yeah, we did, and then the pad there, that
Boy.
was there, the drive is gone. It's been, as per the
Yeah.
agreement.
It's gone.
The owners unfortunately passed away, but the part of the agreement was, once they passed away, that the pad would be removed. Don actually did up that agreement, it was really
Yes,
good,
he did.
and it's gone, so.
Didn't
Yeah,
take
it's
too
been a
long
long-
to it either.
Oh, no.
It's been a long time, you know,
Yeah, it was a long process. Yeah.
Well, one of the
10
maps,
years?
one of the maps I handed out actually was from the underground penetrating radar map.
Mhm.
And it actually showed the fact that there could very well be a grave underneath where the pad was. So it's
Yeah.
nice, it's nice to know that's all grassy again.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Don, did we miss anything?
Well, somebody's taking minutes?
I am.
Okay, so, well, are you gonna close the public portion? Does anybody else wanna say anything for or against the landmark designation?
I think I would go on the public end of the record of saying that the museum is in full support of anything that you're doing over there. If we can help in any way, we will.
Good. Okay, so with that said, I would close the public portion of this meeting.
All right, so then what you should do is, Peter's got, you don't need number one. The owner of the property is the village itself, and the
Right.
village has given permission for the landmark status, so you can ignore that. So you have to make a finding that the property possesses special character or historic or aesthetic interest or value as part of the cultural, political, economic, or social history of the locality. So you need to make some specific findings with respect to that.
Okay, well, like I said on here, the cemetery has identified individuals involved with the village's history.
Right.
Those have been identified in Esther Dunn's book, which I submitted the copy of that, which I'd like to put in the record attached to this, because I can't remember them all. And so they are, and many of those individuals were the founders of in this area of North Penfield, when it was actually still Ontario County. And they were related to many of the founders, like John Phillips, for instance, who was a major sort of pioneer in the area. And the Robs, yeah, who were related, who were kind of the Robs and the Phillips were kind of interrelated, it looks like a lot, so. What else I have there? I also think it's important to note that this has been an existing site for a family kind of burial ground for over 200 years. I was thinking about that the other day, and I realized, wow, this is a really old site, maybe one of the oldest in the whole town. And though the gravestones have been removed, or some may be buried still, but I did want to submit the article for the record from the Webster Herald dated 2006, indicating that a stone was found, and that stone has been kindly preserved by the museum. And so we do know that it does have, that is the significance based on the fact there was a stone there. And also want to note that the Historic Preservation Commission has, dedicated itself to believing this is an important site, so we have placed signs there under our chairman, and our former chairman, and we also made sure that people can clearly identify the lot, so they know that it's an important place, an historic place. Does that help?
Sure. I would think that would meet the requirements.
Is that a finding?
Yeah,
Okay.
if you remember, Alice Dunn did a lot of work
Yes.
She did.
Huge amount of work.
in researching the cemetery, and she went to the Monroe County Clerk's office, and she actually went to Canandaigua to look in the Ontario County Clerk's office, because as Peter said back, the first record of the cemetery appears on a deed in 1834. And that was a deed that was at the Ontario County Clerk's office. But of the people that are known to be buried there, the oldest one was Eliza Robb, who died in 1823, so it's significantly older.
Yes, it is.
So-
And so, yeah. And I think that Alice did a little bit of, I didn't bring her entire, documentation, because I wasn't sure whether or not it was copyrighted or what we could do
Yeah,
to
she's pretty
to enter it in our record, but I did bring, so.
Yeah, she wouldn't let us have
But
it.
so not wanting to, put that into the record in its entirety, I think, Don, you're right, and it's worth noting that information that she did does give some biographies as well, and so. that's something-
She's never given a copy of that to like the village historian?
We have
or to the
requested it,
museum?
No.
we
I
requested
have
it
it. I have it.
several times.
We all have it, I have it.
She'll bring it and we can read it, but she
You can
takes
read
it
it,
back.
but you can't
Well,
have it.
we also, it's all scanned and everything, but it's not, but we're trying to be, I think, sensitive to her
Yeah.
feelings about it, so. Well,
Yeah,
You know, I just personally I think the historian's office should have. you know,
We
just
thought so.
Just so it's preserved somewhere that.
well, I suppose we could give the historian a copy as long as nobody, I mean, I don't see that
It's
there's
not gonna
any.
be, as long as you don't publish it.
Right, it's not gonna republish it, it's not
well,
a copyright issue.
yeah, she
It'd be
just
like buying
wouldn't
a
give
book.
it to us,
You
period.
know, because I've got a copy of
And
it, so
if
she
we
gave
hid
it
it
to me.
in
I'll-
74 different,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah, you have a copy, I have a copy, Carl's got a copy, there's a lot of copies out there, so at some point, yeah.
I just think Lynn should have a copy.
Yeah,
so she could
yeah,
put it-
absolutely.
She could put it somewhere where
I think she does.
someone in the future can reference it.
I would think of Ellen giving anything.
Yeah, she didn't have it before.
Don, as our advisor somewhat, is there anything else we need to
Well,
do?
the second one, or the next one was whether the property is identified with historic personages. I think Peter went through that. A couple of them, because it's not a building, you know, the third and the fourth ones don't apply. Fifth one, whether it has unique location or a singular physical characteristic. I don't know if the location's unique, but it's certainly an established feature of the neighborhood since
That's why I
it's
pulled it.
Exactly.
from 1829, at least 1823, so it's certainly well established. So then you need to, have a motion and a second, and because the code requires that not less than a majority of the full authorized membership may approve or disapprove applications for the designation of an individual property as a landmark. So basically, you need all three of you to vote in the affirmative, otherwise it won't pass.
I move that this property and name the Village Webster Pioneer Burial Cemetery, grounds, be included as a landmark under the requirements of the Article 175-45 of the zoning, historic preservation.
I second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. The motion's carried.
Very
It's
Good.
been a long time.
good. So is there gonna be some designation
Very
of the
good.
property that it's now has a landmark, at least?
Actually, yes, we do a little plaque, a
Yes.
little round plaque, and we'll put that next to the sign.
Do you think it might be possible for us to put it on, I don't know what you feel about this, but the one we have in the island is on a stone.
Yeah,
Would it be possible for us to inset it on a stone and place it there next to
would
the
like
sign?
that.
Rather than keep burdening the sign?
yeah,
Yeah, I like that idea.
I like that. Well, did you look at the one that's there in the little island?
Yeah.
I just love
Just
that.
be something
And
a
I
little
thought
bit.
that
Jake
would be,
could find
that
a
would be
stone, I'm sure.
perfect.
Yeah.
You gotta have a stone first.
I think we got a lot of them
Something big
around
enough
here.
that people can't carry it
Yeah,
away.
because they'll carry that away.
Big enough.
I think that'd be cool.
I think I'd like to talk to Lynn, she may know about one, where they purchased the plaque, and kind of see if we don't, I don't wanna reinvent the wheel here, because I think she was part of the last one, right?
I do, but that was a long time ago, so not that you wouldn't wanna talk to her, I think it'd be a great idea, but,
Well, could it be implanted in the concrete base right now?
could be.
I don't,
It's a, solid concrete base.
Let me have a conversation with Lynn and see if I can get some
What
specifics.
about, have we decided, what are our posts gonna be on the corners for?
Those are wood.
Yeah,
Is there a locus? We got a locus.
yes, we
I may make a suggestion that you get a old-time gravestone to mount it to, near the sign.
You mean the blank?
Yeah, mount it to a blank the
That
old
would look good.
time gravestone, big enough that they can't carry it away,
Can't get them.
obviously.
But the nice part about that idea too is that it also represent, it also be an attraction to people. They'll
Yeah.
look at it
Yeah.
because it's unusual.
I like
Well, I went to, the cost might be a problem. 'Cause I went
Yeah.
over to Rochester Monuments and the cost was very prohibitive
Oh, Bob's, I know.
Really?
for an old gravestone. They don't make those anymore and they don't know anybody that does.
Well, we have-
And you
Well,
could
we
have
can-
some, you could have maybe something made out of oak and put it inside of a,
Rocky Mountain granite down
I honest to God, that's what I'd do, yeah,
Basketball.
that's where I'd go.
oh
That's a
yeah.
good idea.
Remind me.
Well, he didn't have it over here.
Well,
Let
that's
me,
Bob
after
though.
the
Rocky
meeting,
Mountain's
let
got
me tell
huge
you
amounts
something.
of, and they got all kinds of.
All right, I'll talk to Lynn.
So
Yeah,
so we're gonna,
and-
you're in on this one, so you're gonna take the lead on this?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's Ed?
Or, you know, it doesn't have to be a gravestone, it could be a big, it could be
Hopefully it
a,
doesn't break, it's not
stone.
attached to
Well,
anything.
yeah, it can be just a little.
Yeah.
and
It doesn't have to
come
be
up
big,
with-
just big enough.
East Rochester, I know they have a company that
I would,
does
what I'm gonna do is do two things. One is talk to Lynn and see if I can get background information about what, to match what we have been doing in the past, which is the little plaque either on a post or embedded in stone. And then we'll also look at getting it attached to something that's similar to a gravestone. Right?
Well, we have,
Pretty neat.
get these plaques every year for the historic homes.
Yeah,
The town gets those and that
Yeah.
might be a source fee.
Well, that's just it, yeah. That's why I just want to tap. Lynn.
well, yes, yeah, yes.
All sounds good?
Yeah.
So Don, do you think we fulfilled all the requirements to do this? Okay.
All right. So with that said, I think this brings to a close.
Once again,
Do you wanna go home or something, Ed, please?
Now you can have the motion to close the meeting.
Okay. I have a motion to close, or I'd like to make a motion to close our meeting of the Village of Webster Historic Preservation.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries with the meeting is now closed.
Lily, thank you for coming.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Lily, I don't know. Jude Lancy on the village board.